Welcome into another episode of Mood Swings with Liv Moods. I am Liv Moods, and as always, this is presented by Landmark Lincoln. Shout out to our friends over at Landmark Lincoln off of Bellevue and Broadway. Make sure you head to their location to figure out why they have been the #1 Lincoln dealer in Colorado for as long as they have. I say it every show, I am the proud new owner of a 2025 Lincoln Nautilus. Could not love my car more. You deserve one. Go get one. Head to Landmark Lincoln and see what they've got going on over there. Enough about cars. Let's get into the show. Hello, and happy Friday. Also, happy New Year, guys. This is the start of 2026. It's January 2nd. Can you believe it is 2026? This is officially my wedding year, which is pretty cool, but that means we have some things to do. I hope everybody had a happy New Year. We've got some things to discuss. As you guys know, the NFL playoff picture is about to be confirmed and locked in here pretty soon. It's only a matter of time. I think by next Monday's show, or this coming Monday's show, we will be able to look at the official playoff picture, and hopefully it has the Denver Broncos at the top of the AFC with a first round bye. We'll get into that in a second. Let me just let everyone know I am live. Come hang out. Happy Friday. Okay, first things first, we need to talk a little bit about the Denver Nuggets. I haven't spoken with you guys on a show since Nikola Jokic was injured. Yes, I was at home. I was watching the game, minding my own sweet little business. Andy, my producer, and I actually had plans to cut up a few videos of Nikola Jokic from last show, and we both decided maybe not. This feels like salt in the wound. Jokic, as you guys know, and if you watched the game, he got a hyperextension to his left knee. But when he did get injured and fell to the ground, I have never seen anything like this in my 10, 11 seasons of watching Nikola Jokic. He truly was in pain. He was rolling. He was grabbing the knee. He limped to the locker room, did not return to the game. It was definitely it was nightmare fuel for Denver Nuggets fans. It did not feel good to watch Nikola Jokic go down that way. And it felt very, very, very concerning. So a hyperextension to the left knee is best case scenario. Honestly, especially the way in which he got injured and the way that it looked. Spencer Jones had stepped on his foot and then his knee went back and it did not look good. I was actually thinking worst case scenario, a little ACL situation out for the remainder of the season. I really did immediately go to worst case scenario. So the fact that it's a hyperextension is actually a blessing in disguise. Now, here's the not so blessing in disguise. 4 of the Nuggets' 5 starters are injured. You had Cam Johnson go out with a similar knee injury. You've had AG and CB out for quite some time. We should be having conversations around January 5th for their return. They're going to be reevaluated. Hopefully they come back sooner rather than later. Jamal Murray, the last healthy starter standing, tweaked his ankle versus the Raptors. Valanciunas strains his calf versus the Raptors. I mean, the injury bug that this Denver Nuggets team has right now, I don't even think it's a bug anymore. It is like an injury Godzilla that is just swallowing them whole. And I fear any more of them keep dropping like flies, we may have to start forfeiting some basketball games. There's not enough of them to play. That being said, do I always like to find the positive in these situations? Yeah, I'm not hitting the panic button just yet. I know that's big of me because normally we're hitting that panic button quicker than you can say 1, 2, 3. Okay. Normally the panic button has already been hit, but right now I'm feeling okay. And I'm going to tell you why. This Nuggets team added depth in the offseason, which is something they have needed to do for quite some time. This is going to allow the Denver Nuggets to play some of those bench guys, get their confidence back up. Bruce Brown, not in his best form versus the Raptors. Yeah, but we know that he's capable of more. So he's going to get some more crucial minutes. He's going to get more valuable playing time. And what he does with that will be very telling. Tim Hardaway, another guy who you could have honestly made a case earlier in the season, could have started over Cam Johnson in some games. He has found his rhythm. He is finding his groove. Spencer Jones, I like a lot of things that Spencer Jones does defensively and even offensively when he starts to get heated up. I mean, there's a lot of guys on this team that I just think need the opportunity to shine. Peyton Watson being one I've talked about many, many seasons here in a row, where you got to just give that kid the chance to play. He will rise to the occasion in some capacity. It may not always be from the 3-point line or even offensively, but defensively, you know what you're going to get out of him. This team, this is good. This is good to build their morale, build their confidence, and no one's going to believe in the Denver Nuggets unless the Denver Nuggets believe in the Denver Nuggets. And what better way to prove that you believe in yourself than winning basketball games without Nikola Jokic? Yeah, you've got 4 weeks now without Nikola Jokic to prove that you are worthy of the hype, or you've got people on your team that people should pay attention to outside of Nikola Jokic. This is a really good identity builder, right? You've got 4 of your 5 starters out. Show us who you are. These guys that don't always get a chance to play and believe they're somebody, now you show us. And I think we're seeing that from these guys, from these bench guys that are now starting. I think there's a lot of talent on this team that we don't talk about enough because we're jaded and focused on Nikola Jokic for good reason. But this is a good opportunity for the Nuggets to show they've got depth and they've got guys that can win basketball games that aren't named Nikola Jokic, right? And it's a great opportunity for Jamal Murray to keep being Jamal Star Murray and prove that he's worthy of his first ever All-Star. So, let's get into Nikola Jokic for a second. As we know, the injury. Oh! Salt in the wound. Look at this. Look at this right here. Oh, look at this right here. Horrible. Yeah, it didn't look good. It didn't look... Oh, I do see a comment about Deron Holmes. That's another one. Yeah, you guys, there's some names on the roster that we're not talking about all that much because you got Jamal Murray giving you 45. You got Nikola Jokic doing what he does. So you lose sight of some of the talent on this roster. And these 4 weeks without Nikola Jokic and AG and CB and Cam Johnson and Valanciunas, I know it's horrible. It's devastating, really. But it's going to give some of these young guys an opportunity to show the league and the Denver Nuggets who they are, which is great. Nikola Jokic, despite having such a historic season, may not win MVP, and it feels wrong. It does feel wrong. There is a 65-game requirement in order to win MVP, and Nikola Jokic is projected to miss the entire month of January. The entire month of January with that hyperextension to his left knee. He is expected to miss at least 4 weeks. There's no guarantee that he pops right back into things and he's ready to go after 4 weeks. So 4 weeks, I think, is the minimum we're looking at here. This injury, yes, could have been much worse, but it feels just as bad as a bad one because you've got 4 of your 5 starters out, right? So like Jokic going out, it's like, okay. Then you've got Jokic's backup now that's out with a calf strain. So it really, when it rains, it pours, and the Nuggets are feeling that. But this builds character that they may need in the postseason. Just saying, okay, this will be the most time that Nikola Jokic has missed in his entire career. Through 11 NBA seasons now, he has played in 69 to 70 plus games each season. This will be the most he's ever missed. And he's going to miss so much that he won't hit that 65 game requirement, which sucks. But here's the deal, guys. You know what? I always love being honest on this show, and here I go. Dare I say it? Oh, I'm going to say it. You don't need to dare me. I'm doing it. Dare I say, Jokic has raised the standard on what an MVP can look like, so much so that it is kind of an unreachable level at this point, dare I say, that anyone who is not named Nikola Jokic that wins the MVP this year will just kind of sort of, I don't know, feel like a participation trophy. I'm just saying, good on you, right? Good on you. But we all know if Jokic were still playing and he hit that 65, it wouldn't be your award to have. That's the thing. Jokic has shown us this season, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in assists all time, averaging a triple-double on a true shooting percentage of around 60 to 70%. Take your pick. They both rock. Okay, pick 60 today. We'll take 70 tomorrow. This is just who Nikola Jokic is, okay? So he has shown us this season, which you would think after 3 MVPs, he's already shown us this. He has. But he's shown us yet again that even when we thought we were seeing the best out of Nikola Jokic, he was just getting started. So despite his historic season this year, he will likely not win MVP. And I just have to say it. The award just means a little bit less now. Sorry. Whoever wins, congratulations. It doesn't matter, okay? Because this would look very different if Nikola Jokic were still playing basketball and hit that 65 game requirement. I'm just saying. So, unfortunately, whoever wins this year, it's just kind of like, meh, because Jokic was in the process of setting a standard that to most players in this league is unreachable. It's true. Maybe Wemby, right? Wemby is just kind of one of those unicorns as well, but he's also dealing with a hyperextension in his knee. So who knows how long he plays this season and how available he is for the Spurs. So I don't know. Luka Doncic, I would love. I picked him to win not defensive player of the year. Woo! Definitely not that award. We'll get into that in a second. I picked Luka Doncic for MVP, right? LeBron early in the season was injured. He felt like the Lakers really value Luka. So I was like, okay, this is his moment. And I still like it. It's Luka Doncic, right? I mean, he's a great player. But man, I saw a video of what he is trying to cosplay as defense. And I'm afraid it was terrifying. I know Nikola Jokic, not the best defensive player, but Luka actually made Jokic look like Giannis the other night defensively. I'm not kidding. It was really bad. So I would love for Luka to get it if Jokic is not going to, but that might stand in the way there. SGA, no thank you. Free throw king, I'm good. That's not my favorite type of basketball. It's kind of slow. It's kind of boring. It's kind of not fun anymore to watch because it's just expected. I think I saw a statistic just the other day that said something like when SGA goes to the line less than 10 times, their record is like 1 in 5 or something. I was like, oh, is that so? Is it so that you say that when he gets to the line more, they win? Oh, yeah. Well, none of us are acting surprised by that. We knew this. We've been knowing this. Now we have a stat to back it up. It's no longer the eye test. Now it's a statistic. I need to find the most recent version of that stat. But yeah, you guys, I don't know. If it's not Jokic, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's true. Like, I'm sorry. I am a Nuggets fan. Yes, I'm a bit of a homer, but you guys know it's true. He was raising the standard and setting the bar to heights that are just unreachable by the majority of this league. So MVP kind of lost its shimmer and its glamour this year because it is looking like Nikola Jokic will not hit the 65 game requirement, meaning he will not win MVP, and anyone but him doesn't make sense. Yes, it's true. Okay, moving on to some football, if you will. The Denver Broncos kind of in a position here, guys, where they really are like sniffing the number 1 seed in the AFC. A win over the Chargers secures the number 1 seed in the AFC for the Denver Broncos. Yes. This would include or entail a first-round bye and home field advantage. The Denver Broncos this season have been one of the best home teams in the league. Yeah. Mile High City. It's hard to breathe. It's hard to breathe here. Even when I walk, it's hard to breathe. Can't imagine playing football if I'm not used to it. Home field advantage absolutely matters. But it matters a lot if you're Denver, okay? Because they've only lost 1 game at home this season, 3 total games this year, and home field advantage would be huge. First round bye gives your bodies a little bit of opportunity to rest. Now let's talk about what would follow the bye week. Let's just hypothetically say, and I am knocking on wood because I don't like being a bet musher or a jinxer. I don't do any of that. But as it stands right now, following the bye week, if the Denver Broncos were to win over the Chargers and secure that number 1 seed in the AFC, they would play the winner of the Steelers-Texans game. Now, a lot of stipulations still this weekend in the NFL, you guys. Steelers-Ravens. Whoever wins is in. Whoever loses is out. Yes. The Ravens, who have had the most confusing and just crazy and weird season. Lamar Jackson now coming forward and saying, I do care about this team. I don't know what people are talking about. I was in fact injured. This is weird. There's weird vibes. Now Lamar's got something to prove, right? A lot of people thinking that if the Steelers lose, they're going to part ways with Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, who hasn't ever been a loser with this team. Grand scheme of things, Super Bowl, sure, that's the end game. But when it comes to a record, he's never been a loser. There's a lot of stipulations in that AFC North matchup there. A lot. Okay, so Steelers in if they beat the Ravens. Steelers out if they lose and the Ravens are in. But let's say it's Steelers Texans as it stands right now. The Broncos would face the winner of that game. The Broncos have beaten the Texans before. And here's the reality about the Steelers. I think a lot of you still believe in your heart of hearts that Aaron Rodgers still has gas in the tank. And maybe he does. Maybe he does. I think he's shown in some moments this season that he still does have a little bit there. But got to tell you, this Denver Broncos defense, forcing Aaron Rodgers to make quick decisions, forcing Aaron Rodgers to get mobile. Ooh. Limiting his big plays makes this Steelers team exceptionally vulnerable and beatable. Because we've seen some regression in their defense. This used to be a defense you were terrified of. Now, not so much. And Aaron Rodgers, in so many ways, he does well when he's comfortable. But you know what the Denver Broncos do really, really well? They make quarterbacks uncomfortable. And when Aaron Rodgers gets uncomfortable, what he typically does is he starts cussing out his own teammates because he doesn't want, it's definitely not his fault, right? Somebody else made that happen. Okay. He doesn't do well when he's uncomfortable because he is kind of teetering the aging out world. So it's got to be going swimmingly for Aaron Rodgers. He's not great at the quick decision making. You take away those big plays, he looks like a very different quarterback. He doesn't do well under pressure. I'm not talking pressure in a game because we know he does well with that, but defensive pressure where he feels smothered, he doesn't really play very well. And I think the Denver Broncos are really good at that. So whoever wins, Texans, Steelers, that's what it looks like as it stands right now in this moment. I feel okay about the Denver Broncos. And here's the deal. Here's how I know I am speaking to a Broncos hater, right? We're going into the final week of the regular season, and I can clock a Broncos hater like this when I talk to them hypothetically about, Broncos, number one team in the AFC. They won the AFC West. The symptoms of a Broncos hater are as follows, okay? An immediate expression of doubt for the Denver Broncos whenever I talk about their first playoff matchup. And it's usually this face. Oh, I don't know. Those Texans, the ones they beat. What are you talking about, man? Gosh, immediate. They're not even willing to who would they play? Do you even know who they play? Probably not. What's with the face? Fix your face. Okay, that's the first symptom. Second, full-blown amnesia. This is the second symptom. Amnesia. Full-blown amnesia of the teams that the Broncos have beaten this season. That's the second symptom. They just forget about it completely. Forget the best offense in the league. They did that. Check. Best defense. Check. Current Super Bowl champion. Check. Okay. Current Super Bowl favorite. Check. Amnesia. They have no... What? What do you mean? Are you sure? Yeah, but that team sucked. Well, no, they didn't defensively. They beat the best defense. They beat the best offense. It's amnesia, and it's running rampant amongst these Broncos haters. So that's the second symptom. Third symptom is a lack of acknowledgement for the scary teams, the teams the Broncos should be scared of. There's a lack of acknowledgement for those scary teams' losses this season, right? Quickly, Broncos haters. Oh, yeah, but hopefully you guys don't have to bump into the Jags. Okay, well then hopefully the Eagles don't have to bump into the Bears. Or hopefully the Bills don't see the Texans. Okay, there's been a lot of ugly losses this season. So can it? I've had enough. Quit trying to flex on the Broncos losses, but just simultaneously forgetting all about the scary teams' losses that they had this season. Everybody lost ugly. Okay. I mean, for gosh sakes, hopefully magically Houdini doesn't pop the Miami Dolphins into the playoffs so that the Bills don't have to see them because they lost to them in the regular season, did they not? I'm sorry. What are we talking about here? Yes, I would not like to see the Jags, but we may have to, okay? And it is what it is. This is how the playoffs work. There are teams that nobody wants to see again, but you have to, okay? And then finally, this is the last symptom of a Broncos hater. This is how I know you're a Broncos hater immediately because of this symptom. Here it is. Only weaponizing strength of schedule when it comes to Denver. Oh, well, the Broncos have had such an easy schedule, though. Like, so easy. Are we not going to talk about Drake May and the Patriots? I mean, if you want to do the strength of schedule card, let's go into it. We can talk about it. But I don't think it's really relevant whenever we talk about strength of schedule, because that's what people like to say, right? Oh, the Broncos are number one seed in the AFC and they've won so many games because their schedule was so easy. By the way, the schedule only looks easy now because they only lost 3 times. They made it look easy, but it wasn't necessarily easy to begin with. It's never been easy to have to face the Chiefs. It used to not be easy to have to face the Cowboys or the Chargers. I mean, it's only easy because we're on the other side of it. I hate that. I hate weaponizing strength of schedule only for Denver. It's crazy work. We got to stop doing it, because let the Broncos haters tell you, everybody else had the most difficult, impossible, unfair, unrealistic, and totally unwinnable schedule. What? These are the same teams on rotation, okay, every Sunday. So calm it down. These are the symptoms. If you feel like you are coming down with any of these symptoms, run far away from me, okay? Because I don't want the bug you've got. I really don't. I have no desire. You're extremely contagious, and I don't want it. So 6 feet of distance, wear a mask, use sanitizer. Thanks. Okay, moving on. We've got 2 more topics to discuss, guys. I mean, there's so much going on, but also not at all. I think we're all just kind of on pins and needles here, waiting for the playoff picture. The Broncos have got to get a win this weekend, period. Then they get a first-round bye, and they have home field advantage, and we see what they're capable of in the postseason. Oh, and here's one for you. Hey, Broncos haters. Oh, nope, let me not jinx it. I'll save that for next show. Yep. I think I should just start keeping like a little note thing in my phone of just like quick little comebacks I have for Broncos haters whenever I think of them. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put that one down and we'll save it for Monday. How about that? Great. Let's get into really quickly that of Lane Kiffin. I know we've talked about him before. We talked about the move from Ole Miss to LSU and how he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. He wanted to, say, hey, I'm going to go to one of your rival schools next season. Best of luck to you. But I still want to finish out this year. Shout out Ole Miss, by the way. Right? Shout out Ole Miss. How cool is this little story of like, yeah, we don't need you, guy. See ya. Bye-bye. We're gonna keep winning football games in this season. Maybe just go for the whole thing. We might just do the whole thing here. Here's what I want to talk about, though, when it comes to Lane Kiffin. Imagine making $500,000 without lifting a finger. I know some people do this. This is possible. Your money's making money, whatever. $500,000 without lifting a finger. You maybe lifted a finger to eat a hot dog or eat some popcorn while you watch the game, but $500,000 to really do nothing else outside of that, okay? LSU will pay head coach Lane Kiffin. I'm going to break this down for you. LSU is the new team he is coaching for that he will start coaching next season. LSU will pay head coach Lane Kiffin $500,000 after Ole Miss, his old team, won their playoff game. So your new team is paying you because your old team won. Yes, you heard that right. When LSU hired Lane, they agreed to pay his performance bonuses from every Ole Miss playoff win. So whatever he was going to make had he stayed with Ole Miss, whatever playoff bonus that Ole Miss had promised him while he was still there, LSU said, you come over and join us, we'll pay that performance bonus for however many games that they win. Number one, this is kind of hilarious because I don't think you would add such an insane contract incentive if you thought Ole Miss was going to win. Like, this is kind of, in so many ways, LSU was like, sure, whatever. We'll pay the $500,000 if they win. Pfft. I'm sure they assume that the coach that they just poached from Ole Miss was the reason Ole Miss was successful. And the second he left, they wouldn't keep winning. Well, they did. So not only did Ole Miss put their middle finger up in Lane Kiffin's face, winning that game, but they also kind of put a middle finger up in LSU's face as well. Hey, Lane, we don't need you. We just won without you. Okay. And LSU, have fun paying him. And you might have to pay him again, because it doesn't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. They've got motivation. They've got a little bit of a revenge story here, and that always helps a little bit. So imagine $500,000 you make from your new team because your old team won. Oh my gosh. What an insane incentive. And this is coming from the very league or group of people that for so many years was worried about having to pay athletes. I mean, you clearly have money just flying out of your butt crack. What are we worried for? You're paying this man $500,000 because the team you stole him away from won a game. You basically placed a bet, essentially. You said, yeah, they're not going to win. So yeah, if we need to pay you, sure, fine. Oh, you better hope they don't keep winning. Oh my gosh. As if his big contract wasn't enough. Now you got to keep paying this man. Oh my gosh. Shout out Ole Miss, honestly. When I don't have a dog in the fight, shout out TCU, by the way. They did their thing versus USC, so I can sleep peacefully. My college football team did their thing. I don't have a dog in the fight, and typically when I don't have a dog in the fight, I just like to root for the underdog. So shout out Ole Miss, honestly. I love seeing stuff like this. This is good stuff. Okay. Final conversation. We have to have it, guys. I'm sorry. We do. It's just the thing about it. Stefon Diggs, man. Here's the deal. And this is going to, listen, I'm going to read you what we know so far. Okay? I'm not going to tell you, is this a Denver sports show? It is. Yeah, I mean, we talk a little bit of everything in this show, but yes, we do focus quite a bit on Denver sports. I actually spent the first, I would say, probably 15 minutes at the top of the show talking about the Nuggets and Jokic and the Broncos as well. So once this is up and posted, you can go ahead and rewatch that. But welcome in if this is your first time to join us here on Mood Swings. Let's talk about Stefon Diggs. There's some drama happening here, okay? And I'm going to just read to you what we know so far for sure, okay? Stefon Diggs' former personal chef alleges that he slapped her and attempted to choke her during a salary dispute. The accuser alleges that Diggs entered her unlocked room and slapped her across the face during a discussion about money that he owed her. According to court documents, Diggs allegedly tried to choke her by placing her elbow around her neck. The report states that the victim described experiencing the effect of strangulation, that's in quotes, feared she could have blacked out, and she was afraid for her safety. The woman also claims that Diggs demanded she sign an NDA after the alleged assault as a condition for receiving further payment. The complaint notes that she later received a phone call from Diggs' girlfriend. He is now facing felony strangulation or suffocation charges along with misdemeanor assault and battery. Stefon Diggs has denied all allegations. But I will tell you, he did get charged. Okay? He did get charged with these things. Now, here's the deal. Can charges be dismissed? Yes. And unfortunately, this is still a pending investigation. So with what has been presented so far, and I don't want this to sound like I'm dismissing the victim in this situation or I am blaming Stefon Diggs. Unfortunately, right now in this situation, it is he said, she said. Right? Until we see some sort of footage or there is evidence, and that's why this investigation is still pending. I'm sure they are looking for these things. It is right now, he said, she said. She says this happened. He says it did not. Okay? So it is he said, she said until evidence is presented. While many may believe the allegations that are being thrown towards Stefon Diggs due to their own, judgment call on his character, without evidence, being indicted on these charges may be difficult, okay? So then I ask, how does this affect the New England Patriots? I mean, these are some very, very serious allegations. Well, here's the deal. If there is no evidence, like I said, it is a he said, she said. And, here's the other thing about it. It's not like the NFL has always stood 10 toes down on domestic violence. No. Typically they grab a broom and they lift the rug and they sweep it underneath it. That's what they do. Okay. I've watched a lot of players in this league that get caught with evidence, with some security footage, doing some very aggressive and very horrible things to their partners or friends or whomever, and they're back on the field in no time. So if there's no evidence, I'm afraid there's probably very little that the league is going to do. Um, if there is evidence that is presented that corroborates this woman's story and gives some very, cold hard facts, here they are. I said what I said, but here I'm showing you that it's true and it did happen. I still don't feel confident in trusting the NFL to do right by the victim. There's plenty of victims out there that have not been done right by the NFL. Let's just call it what it is, unfortunately. I mean no disrespect in saying that. Actually, yes, I do. I do, actually. I don't take too fondly to domestic violence, never have, and probably never will. So if you have been able to do that and still play the sport you love and still be a multimillionaire, yeah, I don't really think I'm a fan of yours. I'm certainly not a fan of the NFL for allowing it to happen. Okay. So I really think that, it's easier for the NFL to turn a blind eye to things like this than it is to address it head on, especially considering Stefon Diggs right now is playing for one of the best teams in the NFL and the playoffs are on the horizon. I don't know. I don't want to go into the conspiracy theories of it all and think that they care more about that than they do care about the victim in this situation. But I do actually believe that could be true, that they do care more about protecting the player than they do hearing out the victim. Like I said, there's charges. He has not been indicted on these charges yet. The charges could be dropped. And right now it is he said, she said. And I do very much believe in the justice system in regards to it is innocent until proven guilty. I have a criminal justice minor from college and I studied it all 4 years and loved it. So yeah, I do think there's an element of that where, yeah, you are innocent until proven guilty. And the justice system can be very difficult to prove someone guilty, even if, you believe they are. You need to have evidence at the end of the day. So it's a pending investigation. Hopefully we learn more. I mean, the playoffs are around the corner. And it's a tough call for the NFL to have to make here. Do you let him play? Do you suspend him just based off of these accusations alone? Or do you need more in order to prove that he was involved in the way in which he's being accused of? So who knows what's going to happen? Only time will tell, but a very unfortunate situation. And I hope that this is not true for the sake of Stefon Diggs. It just seems so silly to even be wrapped up in something like this. I mean, we did get to see some text messages where he did seem like he was refusing to pay her. So on principle alone, that's pretty gross. I mean, you're a multi-millionaire. You have more money than you know what to do with. Okay. And you can't pay someone for their services. It's just that I'm not going to support, obviously. But the accusations that are being thrown his way are much larger than just trying to not pay someone. I mean, those are also big, but we're talking about some really, really serious stuff. So hopefully they get to the bottom of it. We get a little bit more clarity on the situation. And hopefully the NFL uses their best judgment and does right based on what they know and what they have in regards to a punishment or not one. Who knows? But that'll do it, guys. I think that's it for today's show. Another episode of Mood Swings, on this wonderful Friday in the new year. It's 2026. It's really... I was just talking today at the house earlier this morning. COVID was 6 years ago. I was talking about the bubble season with the Nuggets, and I was like, that was 6 years ago. COVID was sick. I think I'm really getting to the point where time is starting to freak me out because it feels like that was maybe yesterday, but it was not. It was 6 years ago. So happy 2026. Happy New Year. Thank you for hanging with me for another episode of Mood Swings. I'm Liv Mood signing off for now, but we will be back on Monday. And I actually might have a special guest joining me. Maybe, possibly. And we'll have a show Monday where we talk about the NFL playoff picture. It will be set in stone. We will know exactly what to expect and anticipate. So I will see you guys Monday, 4 p.m. Mountain Time for another episode of Mood Swings. This has been presented by Landmark Lincoln. Shout out to our friends over at Landmark Lincoln. Head to their location. Check them out off of Bellevue and Broadway. And we will see you Monday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. See ya.